Finished week 3 of taking improv classes here at the Second City. I am beat because we are based in Kentucky and it takes us about 5 hours to get here, and class is about 3 hours. But I've said this before and again after the 3 times I've done this so far, which I'm still new to this, but improv and the exercises and the games and just learning about the basics of yes and what I'm going to talk about today and what we learned in class, it just makes everything, the time just goes by so fast. And what I'm really doing with this YouTube video is essentially just documenting the journey. I've been an actor for 4 years based in Kentucky, and improv was one of those things in the back of my mind I really wanted to work on, and there was no better place than the Second City in Chicago. And it's 5 hours away, but I think it's definitely worth the trip. So this is my third Sunday. And what we talked about in this class, it was really, I think out of the 3 times I've been here so far, there wasn't a game like this one that we did that just intrigued me the most. We did yes and. We did those yes and exercises of simply, if you don't know what yes and is, in the basic simple way that I can explain it, that my instructor Tom explained it, was when you say yes to a suggestion, you say yes to your scene partner or the group, whatever is being said or done. You accept it by saying yes, and then you add on top of that suggestion, and then you add whatever comes to your mind or comes to the scene. So you accept the partner, you accept the reality, and you add on top of that. And the beauty in that, of what I've gained over the past 3 times I've been here, is the fear of doubt of being wrong just gone. Because that's, as human beings at our core, we're afraid of failure, of being judged. We have the fear of doubt, the fear of embarrassment, because we don't want to be wrong. We don't want to be, feel like we're left out. But in improv, following the yes and rule, we're never going to say, I'm not going to say we're never going to say no. I'll get to that here in a second. But you can trust your partner is going to accept whatever you give them, no matter how crazy or how simple it is. They're going to say yes, and they're going to add on top of that. And that goes to one of our games we played. We played the yes and game. So we had 2 people. One person gave a suggestion, establishing where you are, or just starting the scene off. It could be anything, like, I went to the movies today. The next person would be yes. And I think that The Terminator is the best movie. Is that the one that you saw? Ooh, oh my gosh. I just did something that you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to ask questions, which we also talked about. And it's simply put, you don't ask questions. And all these rules that I'm saying about yes and, you can only say yes, you should never say no, or asking questions, you should never ask questions. You can say no, you can ask questions, but you need to know the rules. You need to know these principles in order to break them. That's one of the biggest things that I learned so far, that my instructor Tom is embedding into us, that we first need to know the foundation. We need to know why do we have these rules, and then when is it okay to break them. And one of those is asking questions. We don't ask questions because when you do improv, it's more about just working. It's like acting without a script. You are just making it up as you go. So your partner or the group will say something, you'll say yes and you keep on going. But you say yes, you accept their gift, and you add on top of that. But if you ask a question, that puts the spotlight, that puts the pressure back on them. So simply, you don't ask questions at improv because you may not be giving them something. Hi, how's it going? Oh, you're good, I'm sorry, no. I appreciate you being kind about it. You may not be giving them something, you may not be giving them a suggestion, you're more of asking something from them, and that puts the spotlight on them, and it's more, the spotlight's on you. I don't want the pressure, it's back on you now. And so yes and is very playful, I realized in the past 3 weeks we've been doing this. But going to the first one we did was the yes and. After we did that for a couple of times, we did hell yes and, which I love how Tom put this, where instead of saying yes and, we say hell yes and. And I love this because it just made it more accepting as we played it. It felt like we weren't just saying yes to whatever was saying, we were just taking it in 100%. And I think that was just a big shift. It was a simple shift, but it was a big shift in terms on what we did. And another thing that he daunted on us was just listening. And that's almost 90%, if not 100% of what I've gotten from classes so far, is just listening to your partner, listening to what's going on. Because I've done it, I've still done it, and a lot of the people in class have done it with me, where we're so focused on what we're trying to say that we forget that we're with someone else. We forget that we can react and listen, and that's how we accept an offer, by realizing that there is one. And that's how you get out of your head, by being present in the moment, listening, and then saying yes to whatever they said, and add on top of it. It doesn't have to make sense, but following that rule is, I mean, if you just follow that rule, you're basically an improviser in my eyes. But like I said, I'm still starting this out. I'm still a newbie, but this is something that's captivated my attention so much to where 3 hours is like, it feels like just an hour of class. He talked about specificity, which I love this, because the more specific you are, the more interesting, not necessarily you are, but the scene becomes. You know, if I hand you a ketchup bottle, an imaginary, I'm pantomiming a ketchup bottle to you, that's fine. But what if I give you the Heinz ketchup bottle that's in the cabinet that I can never reach because there's like 2 to 3 glass cups that I still have to wash, and you create a story in specificity, and forget the ketchup bottle. Now you like, what is going on, and why can't he? What is he trying to grab? It makes it more interesting. So the more specific you are, the more interesting I found scenes to be, and this goes into a question that I asked. I was like, how specific do I need to be? Is too specific a thing? And just that it's something that you need to gauge yourself, that as long as the story continues to unfold, you don't need to be as specific as you might think, but just realizing that the more specific you are, the more interesting it is. Like I said, we're running on 3 hours of sleep. I was taking it in as we were going. I was literally listening the whole time. I was like, oh, that was another beautiful thing. Today was really fun because we weren't in our heads as much. I don't know. Hi. I don't know if it was the sleep deprivation or what was going on, but I said I'm not gonna think in class today. I'm just gonna give whatever my partner I'm gonna take whatever my partner gives me, and yes and continue going off of that. So when he asked for 2 people, I stood up. I said, I don't know what is going to go on. I don't even know how to play this game correctly, because he gives us a lot of games to play just to get us out of our comfort zone, just to work with just improv exercises and really just get acclimated to it. So I stood up. I didn't know partially what the game was about, but my scene partner started off, and they went about it, and I just listened. That's the whole class. I just listened to what they said, and I said yes, and I created a scene, and they created a scene. I was like, and we just continued doing that. This is the 3rd week that we are doing this. What the Second City's class structured is, you can take improv 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then something called conservatory, which I don't know if you can hear, but there are like actual shows going on. And it's more like you have to audition for that, and you have to have like a year's worth of improv experience. And so I feel like I want to do it. I have to see a show. I have to see how the pros do it. But this is something that I definitely want to continue on with my career. But this is only my 3rd Sunday. The 4th next week is the last week of Improv 1A. And then I can take Improv 1B, which is another 4 weeks. But the way that it's, like I said, is structured, you have Improv 1, which a real term is 7 weeks, or they have it structured where you can split it in half, take Improv 1A and then 1B, which are what I'm doing. And then you can go on with the real terms, Improv 2, 3, 4, and 5, and each term is 7 weeks. And you best believe I'm gonna get comfortable with the camera I'm just still trying to get comfortable because we're in the second city right now. So I might have to find either a better spot, more quieter spot, get more concise with what I'm trying to say. Because listen, I write down these notes, I don't know if you can see, but I'm just all over the place. There's some things that my instructor says that I'm like, oh shoot, we went over that 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, I gotta go back and see, and I'm writing new notes into past things, and I'm all over the place. So I really do appreciate you guys bearing with me as we just document the journey. I'm not really making these YouTube videos. I mean, it's nice to see views, but I'm really just documenting it in case you guys, whoever's watching this, is on a similar journey, whether that is taking improv solely, but they have so much more to the Second City than just improv. They have sketch comedy, they have actor classes here, but what I'm doing here is just Improv 1 all the way till 5, then conservatory, and then whatever happens after that. But if this is something that you guys are wanting to do, if this is something that you just want to try to take an improv class. One of the guys in my class, his name is James, he literally said he signed up the day before class because he was reading a business book that in the chapter he was reading, he said, go take an improv class. See how out of the comfort zone you're going to be in and really feel it. Because I truly believe this, and you grow out of your comfort zone. And that's cheesy as it says, but something like improv really pushes those boundaries, not just as an actor, but as a human being. So I don't want to get philosophical, whatever the word is here, but I want this to be an encouragement to help you pursue your journey. If you want to pursue improv or go to the Second City, whether it's in New York or Toronto or here in Chicago, I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, take it, take that risk. And it's gonna feel weird. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. You're gonna feel embarrassed. I already have many of times. I've made many mistakes, but those mistakes are meant to be celebrated because that's just how you grow. That's how you learn. And that's what I'm doing here. And that's what I hope you are pursuing to do or interested in doing. So without further ado, in case no one has told you this today, I love you. You matter. You have value. And let me say something I haven't said before. Be specific. Whatever you do, whatever you pursue, don't be half-assed, meaning that if you have a goal, saying you want to lose weight, or you want to have a better love life, or anything, the more specific you are, the better and more interesting it's going to be. You want to have better fitness goals? Okay, what are the goals? What weight do you want to get to? What lean body mass do you want to get to? What's your workout routine? How many days out of the week do you want to be in the gym? How many hours in the gym do you want to go? If it's your relationship, what is it about your relationship that you have to be self-aware enough to know that it's communication, it's honesty, it's loyalty that you're struggling with? Have you even talked to your partner? Being specific with these questions that you have to ask yourself with whatever it is that you're doing makes life more meaningful, purposeful, and interesting. And that is the improviser's little tidbit right there that I tied in at the end. I kind of like that. I'm going to quote that and put that on Instagram, on social media. How's it going? But that is the end of class. Other than that, we just finished off with a bunch of games we played. But I will see you guys in the next one. I love you.